Hello.
Hey, Lex. Hey,
Hi.
hey, Donna. Listen, we're going to give it another like 30 seconds or so to let Brian get a chance to get in here,
Sure.
and then we'll get on the way. And if you want to share it to your page, you can just click that arrow at the top
Yep.
of the page and it'll let you share it, okay?
Got it. Yep. I just shared it on Facebook.
Sweet.
Yeah. I'll share on Instagram right now, actually.
That'll be great.
Sure.
Donna, meet Lexi. Lexi,
Hi,
meet
Donna.
Donna.
Hi, Lexi. How are you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm excited, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're glad we can burst your spaces, Cherry.
That you are.
Well,
I
I'm just,
feel I feel so out of the loop. Like, how do you work this thing?
it does, the nice thing is that it's not very complicated, but at first it's a little overwhelming because you almost feel like you're doing something wrong or not doing enough. Like,
Right.
isn't there something else I should be doing right now? Um, but it's really, once you get familiar with the buttons, like down at the bottom, you'll see the little magic wand that's actually a soundboard. If you click on that, you can see the soundboard come up and you can, have some fun with some different
Oh.
sounds.
Oh, that's so
I'm
cool.
on Android, so I haven't got that.
Right.
I'm poor.
So if you press on the magic wand the second time, it'll take that soundboard away. Then, of course,
Okay.
the little people toggle down at the bottom just shows you who's in the space right now, and
Oh, okay.
and as hosts, we use that to like bring up a co-host or bring up speakers or
Oh,
boot people,
gotcha.
so to speak. Then, if you press on
Gotcha.
that little heart, those are emojis that you can there you go. Now, the second way you can actually send a private emoji. So if you press on
Messages.
your on my face on my I'm sorry, if you press on um I'm sorry, if you press on my picture, some
Okay.
emojis should show up
Oh, yeah.
and that's a private emoji. So nobody sees
Gotcha.
that except the person you sent it to.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Well, thank you for the
You're
tutorial.
welcome. And then to the bottom right, all the way, is the chat. So if you wanted to
Okay.
post something to the chat of this space, you
Uh,
would do it there.
oh, cool.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So we're going to go ahead and get started. And let me give you a little introduction, and then I'll introduce you to the rest of the folks that are in the room with us.
Okay.
Our guest, Lexi Gavin-Mather, is originally from Stony Brook, New York. She's been a part of Jonathan Little's group of poker coaches, and now she owns and operates her own site, LexiGavinMather.com. Lexi was the TV host on Poker Night in America. Our guest has our guest's mob, as in Hendon Mob, has a total of live earnings just over $600,000, with her best live cash of $41,000 for her 10th place finish in the $5,200 buy-in at the 2020 Bay 101 Shooting Star event. Lexi's first Hendon Mob entry was her sixth place finish in 2013 at the PokerStars Caribbean Adventure for $3,200 in the $1,100 buy-in tournament. Lexi has a total of 125 Hendon Mob entries with 19 top 10 finishes. That's finishing 15% of the time in the top 10. Very impressive indeed.
I didn't even know that.
And that's not even, I didn't even do the top 20. So I'm sure that number is going to be a little bit higher than that if we went to the top 20 finishes. I am very excited to hear that Lexi can add the title author to her resume. And I'm looking forward to getting a copy of her book, which will be released shortly. And it is titled Mastering Small Stakes no limit tournaments, which can be ordered on dmbpoker.com. Without further ado, please welcome Lexi Gavin-Mathers to Poker Insider Space.
Hello. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Well, we're happy to have you, and I want to introduce you. You already met Donna, and my other co-host is Brian. Brian, please meet Lexi.
Hey Lexi, nice to meet you. I met Bob over the summer. I was talking with Jack and him as well, so that was really
Oh,
nice.
awesome. Cool.
Very cool.
Well, nice to meet you.
And that are just listeners right now will have an opportunity to come up and ask questions and give comments as we go along. So down in what we like to call the goo are Todd Rizzo, BT, and Chris and Judy. So those are the folks that are listening to us right now. There may be some on their computers that we can't tell that they're listening, but they are out there. The first thing I want to ask you about is how you started in the world of poker. How did you get started playing poker, Lex?
Well, I've played poker pretty much my whole life. I was playing card games. My grandmother actually taught me at a very young age how to play a lot of like strategy games. So I just kind of got into strategy games at an early age. And then it was during college when I really started playing some like home games with friends, and I got into it. And then I started grinding a lot online a little bit. And I was supposed to go to law school. I was studying political science at Coastal Carolina in Myrtle Beach, and once I graduated, I was, trying to figure out where I was going to go to law school. I was looking into the LSATs, but I was also playing pretty heavily online. And I decided to put the whole law school thing on hold, and I just began mass multi-tabling online and seeing some good results. So I caught the bug right out of college.
I love that. And so, do you prefer live poker or online poker?
Live poker. I rarely play online anymore. I actually am just starting to get back into live online a little bit more, but I just love, the social aspect of the game. And I play, I like to compete. I like to compete for like GPI points and stuff. So I like live poker a lot more. It's more fun.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm going to ask some questions. Jamie Gunta could not join us tonight, but she gave me some questions to ask you. And then after which I will turn it over to my co-hosts for their questions. What stakes did you start at?
I started at micro stakes online. So I like from the very, very bottom, 5 cent, 10 cent, I would play like 24 tables at a time. And I slowly, once I started beating that stake, I'd move up to 10 cent, 25 cent, then 25, 50 cent. And I just really took it, stake by stake until I was beating like 1-2 online. Um, and I was really fortunate because I had a really good group of poker mentors. I was very good friends with Greg Merson and Rich Lindecker, who was Nuts and Ho online. And, Ankush Mandavia, he was my roommate for a while. So I had a really good base of mentors, and I would just sit behind them, and that's how I learned to multi-table. They would just I would watch them play, and then I'd be like, why'd you do that, why'd you do that, why'd you do that, and they'd explain their thought process, and then they'd sit behind me and watch me. Um so I learned, bankroll management. I went broke quite a few times in the beginning, and yeah, just took it stake by stake. And when I started playing live, I've played as high as 200, 400 PLO. So I've literally played everything.
Awesome. And it's that kind of segued into Jamie's next question is, have you ever busted your bankroll? And after which, how did you build it back up? Snoop, we'll get to you shortly, bud.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I I busted. I was very, very reckless in the beginning, because in the beginning when I was playing online, I had a lot of like tournament success early. Like in the first, I'm talking like the first 3 months of playing online, I like banked a tournament. Like, I think I won a $5 like super hyper turbo online that had thousands of players, like just completely like unheard of. I won that, and then I won I think like a 109 rebuy or like a 55, like one of those. And so I made a lot of money really early, and I had a very false perception of tournament poker, and I was just like, "Oh, this is super easy." So I started playing like the 1Ks, and I started, just playing way above my bankroll, and just quickly like busted everything. And then I realized, okay, this is a lot harder than I thought it was. And so I would just start from the bottom. I would drop all the way back down to 5 cent, 10 cent, 10 cent, 25 cent, and just build up my roll again.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And she also, my girl Jamie, also wanted to know um, when you had those, we're just going to call them low points of busting and having to rebuild build your bankroll, what motivated you to keep going?
My mentors, really, and my friends. Again, I don't think I would be able, like, I don't think I would be where I was or I am now if it wasn't for them at the time, because I had gotten really, really down on myself, and they explained variance. I didn't really understand variance at the time. And, I just attribute a lot of it to them, and, my mental game that just kind of improved over time. And you just learning what not to do, like doing the wrong thing, and then learning, that you shouldn't do it like this, you should do it like this, and then just kind of training my brain. um it's kind of like a muscle. You just kind of get a little, get used to it. And I don't know, I just always saw like how successful my friends were online, that I was just so determined to get there myself. Um, so I just kept going, and I'm
I
glad I did.
love that. Love
Yeah.
that. And I love the fact that you talk about how important that support system was for you, not only for your um, getting better at the game when you're at a high point, but also how important that support system is when you're at a low point, so to speak. So I think everybody can take something away from that conversation for sure. I want to say hello to Bob, and yes, we need more Bob in the
More
world.
Bobby. Hey, Bobby boy.
And Snoop, I'm going to let you sneak in a question real quick before I go to my co-host. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, reporting live from busting my roll 6 times last year. Uh,
Oh,
I had a, I have I don't know if you know my friend, but it's a question for you and your husband, I guess. Do you know Matt Vingren?
I don't think
I think he
so.
knows your husband, but I was talking with him the other day about, he got into the restaurant business and kind of like went out of poker, whereas uh, years down the line, I can see myself doing that. And one of my passions and some I've wanted to do for years was become a private investigator because I'm really into true crime, and I have a friend's dad who's also a private investigator. Your husband used to be, or what is a private investigator, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he is a private investigator. I call him the Paul Blart Mall Cop of private investigators. But
No, I'm
he,
super interested in that. Um, I was gonna say, like, I don't have a college degree and I have no law enforcement experience. I was wondering if he had any tips or how he got into it. If he,
uh, Sherry, can you let Bob talk? Or
Yeah,
oh, my bad. I thought he
absolutely.
was up here too. My bad.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. We're going to table that for a
Yeah, no
minute,
worries.
and we will circle around, and we will definitely bring Bob up if he's available.
Thank you,
So
Lexi.
I'm going, absolutely, we will get that accomplished. Um, I just wanted to say a thank you to our sponsor, Elevator Results. If you need to lose weight or put weight on, get in contact with Elevator Results and they'll be happy to help you with your goals. Software, Brian, what you got?
Hey, thanks. Wow, that's pretty crazy, Sherry. I think with poker, everybody's either a programmer or an attorney, one of the two. I don't know why that is. So it's just funny, like probably a huge percentage. Speaking of which, and kind of going along with Snoop's question, um, how do you think that, poker's maybe helped you in other areas of your life?
Well, it led me to my husband, which is, you know, the best thing that ever happened to me. So, and I think that just in general, I've just as a person have become a lot stronger and more, just have thicker skin. And I try to let the small things go. So I think it just kind of made me tougher and made me more situationally aware of people and stuff like that.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah, I call
Yeah.
on that. This is her husband. She doesn't let the small things go here at home.
She remembers everything.
Hey, get out of
Hey,
here.
Bob. Hey, Bob. Do you want to give some advice to this young sleuth that is looking to get into your business?
Um, sure, it depends on what state you're in, what the qualifications are. Probably best. Um,
California.
well, in California, yeah. So I'm licensed in a lot of states. California is one of them. It takes 3,000 hours of investigative services experience, and that not it can be law enforcement, some military, it can be working for other PIs. You can get a hold of the California Bureau of Investigative Services, I think is what it's called. Yeah.
So that would include even like working at a PI for a PI in the office or something like that.
Yeah, if you do investigative work, if you can get an internship, it's pretty hard to come by. I got mine because I spent over a decade as an embezzlement investigator and a white collar crime interrogation specialist. So that qualified me to get my PI license. And to kind of bring this back home, so the skills that I developed to read people and to have situational awareness and to do risk mitigation, doing that type of work really has helped with poker. And I know both my game and I think Lexi's game has continued to improve because I can kind of bring her some how to read people or how to recognize patterns in people. And she obviously has helped me with the mechanics and some of the complex poker GTO and non-GTO programs. So if you like poker and you like being a PI, it's a great combination.
Awesome. Thank you for that information, Bob. We appreciate it. Go ahead, Chris. I'm going to let you sneak in a
Thank you.
question.
Hey Bob, hey Lexi,
Hi,
how you
Chris.
doing?
Hey. Good. How are you
All
doing?
right. I was thinking there's a couple things I want to say. One, I think it's weird because like I feel like we have never played a hand of any significance together. But I still remember this hand where you got bad beat so bad at the Brigado, like where you had like aces full of kings and a guy had quad deuces.
Yeah. I actually remember that. Yeah.
It was against this like guy who was like a rookie basketball player for the Sixers.
Oh my God. I can't believe you remember that. Yeah. That was a long time
Yeah,
ago.
let's not talk about how long it goes. But also want to say Rich Lindecker taught me
Yeah.
so much. He was incredible because he was a moderator on this poker forum I used to belong to.
Oh.
So I also owe a lot of like what I've learned from him. But
Yeah.
it,
He actually, we dated and we lived together for a while. And for those who don't know Rich, he was nuts and ho on Poker Stars, very big legend on Stars, and he recently passed a couple years
yeah, it
ago.
was sad. But I remember his story of when like he was like living in his car or something, and then like the next year he banked something at the World Series, and then the next year he was like top winner on Stars. Um, but I wanted to ask you, I imagine what's the learning process like for you now? Like if you want to share something like a recent concept or something you've learned that was surprising or has helped
Sure.
you.
Yeah, that's funny. I actually just started a study group with Chris Conrad, who I think has been on this show before.
Love Chris. A
Yeah.
good friend of mine.
Yeah, and he and I are working together with his wife, Kat, and Bob. So we're doing a little study group
Yeah,
thing,
they're
and
great. Chris and Katerina are great.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll share something that I don't normally share with a lot of people, but it doesn't seem like there's too many people in here. So for those of you that are listening, please keep this on the DL. This is like kind of a secret strategy, but um, there's a concept of small, small, big. So when you're the pre-flop aggressor and someone calls and you see a flop, whatever it is, you bet in essentially betting betting is how you win in poker, right? Like you like keeping that driver's seat and putting your opponents in difficult spots as opposed to, letting your opponents put the pressure on you. That's like that's how you like really crush in poker. So by checking, you're allowing your opponents to take the driver's seat, right? You're allowing your opponents to take control of the hand, and you're kind of the one that's in a vulnerable spot. So if it's a spot where it's close between checking and betting small, then you should always lean towards betting small. So the concept of small, small, big is on say it's like a wet board. Say the flop is 9-8-7 with a flush draw. You open, so someone calls 9-8-7 with a flush draw. And you bet, like, normally, like if you have pocket aces or ace king there, like you're gonna check at a high frequency normally. But if you bet 10%, and your opponent only calls, well, you've gained so much information about the strength of their hand, right? Because if they're only calling a 10% bet on a wet texture, then you know that they probably don't have anything too strong because their straights, their two pairs, their sets are going to be raising to that sizing, right? Plus, a 10% sizing just confuses a lot of people, and people don't really know how to respond to that. So, okay, so you bet 10%, they call, then the turn comes, whatever it may be. And this is whether you have value hand or bluff. If you bet small again, say you bet 20%, say you have nothing, say you're just completely bluffing. You bet 20% again, and they just call. Well, now you even know more about the strength of their hand because they're going to be raising at least the turn now with their really strong hands, right? To protect their equity against the draws, to build the pot, whatever. So then the river comes, say again, you don't have anything. You bet, now you bomb it. Now you bet like 70% or 80% because now you're targeting all of those like middling pairs, all of those small, those weak middling hands to fold because we know that they're not super strong on the flop or turn. So it's kind of a cool concept that small, small, big. And I've done it and it works like a charm. It's like printing money, instead of checking, say you have like pocket sixes on a ace 10-5. If your standard is to check there, well, instead of betting 10%, instead of checking and then having them bet and you call, you just bet really small and then you just get them to call you really wide and you can just barrel them off it.
Yeah,
So I really like that
All right, you
strategy.
heard it here
cool.
first,
Thanks.
folks. Small,
Yeah,
small,
Yeah,
big.
don't tell your
all right.
friends.
But yeah,
Don't tell your
you're not
friends.
losing anything. You're not losing much when they check raise you too. So that's cool.
Right, exactly. Like you're risking the minimum, and it's just
And you're
it really
gaining
is like,
lots of information.
yeah, it's like printing. So I
I
don't
will
know if
add
you've
something to
tried
that.
something like.
I want to add one thing. I want to see if you agree, Lexi. I learned this when I was getting into poker by someone that's way smarter than I am. And I was learning, and he taught me that when someone bets super, super small, like 5, 10%, or the one big blind lead,
Mhm.
you're supposed to, as a player, that you dismiss the small sizing if it's super small, and you interpret it as a check.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for adding that, Snoop. All right, Lex, let's talk about something that happened recently at Thunder Valley.
Okay.
Can you set the stage of what happened with that last hand with Aruna I hope I'm saying his name right, Melina?
Oh yeah. I don't know his name, but yeah, that was brutal.
It was brutal. Can you talk to us about that? Can you set it up?
Yeah, so it was this, I believe it was the 1700 World Series Poker Circuit main at Thunder Valley. And We were in the money. I think there was like 30 people or 40 people left. Yeah, I think 40. And I was in a situation with a guy who it folded to the button min raised, and I'm in the small blind with pocket sixes. I believe I had sixes. And I shove 17 bigs or something like that. I think it was sixes. I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I
sixes.
think it was Jack's.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. It was Jack's. That's right. Thank you for that, Sherry.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was Jack's.
Yeah. um, I had Jack's. So yeah, I shove and the big blind folds and it's back on the button. Now we're just heads up. And he asked me for a count and thought for about 10 seconds and then called with pocket aces. So
Was there
And
still a player to act?
no,
no.
no.
And so what? So, was that a slow roll or wasn't it, Lex?
Oh, 100%. It was a slow roll, 100%. There,
Yeah,
there's no question about it because there was no one else to act. It's not like he had to Hollywood because he wanted someone else to call. It was heads up. So,
yeah,
I,
kind of ridiculous.
I tried to like for a second, I was like, oh my God, was he considering folding? Is that possible? Like, do people think about folding aces sometimes? I thought that after obviously he tabled his hand because I of course didn't think he had aces when he was in the tank, but no, he just decided to not. Just I don't know. He decided to slow roll me, and the funniest thing is he had asked the reporters because the bloggers were there. He asked the reporters not to report that hand, and I guess he was talking to the wrong blogger because the blogger and I get along really well. So naturally, the blogger, it was Mike Patrick. He not only makes a whole post about that hand with his picture, but then proceeds to interview me afterwards about it. So
As he should.
it's
And,
karma.
like, let's not slow roll with pocket aces, folks. Come on. Have
Exactly.
some good poker etiquette at this table. I'm going to just take a brief moment to mention a couple of things. Of course, our second official Spaces meetup game is February 12th, 6 p.m. at Best Bet the Monument location. We're going to be having our first official live feed table for our Spaces, folks. So let me know if you want to get on that table. DM me, people.
Awesome.
Uh, thank you. All right. I do something with our guest called Rapid Fire. Lex, do you know what Rapid Fire is?
Is it like yeah, go ahead and explain it.
Yeah, I'm going to give you two choices, and you're going to pick the one that you think fits your taste or your liking, so to speak.
Okay, do I get to think about it or is it like the first thing that comes to mind?
I'm going to give you two choices.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha.
So, for instance, beer or wine,
Oh, wine.
pizza or burgers,
Pizza.
Jets or Giants,
Giants.
granny panties or thongs,
Thumbs.
beach or mountains,
Ooh, that's hard. I would say used to be beach, now it's mountains.
limit or no limit,
No limit.
online poker or live poker. Where
Live.
awesome. Thank you for humoring me. Donna, did you have any questions, love?
Yeah. Lexi, what's it like being a female professional poker player? Have you come up against like you hear all these horror stories of women getting berated on the table? Have you ever come across that?
Oh
And
yeah.
how have you handled it?
I would say now I handle it much. Now it doesn't really happen. But when I was, I call myself when I was a baby grinder, when I was more up and coming and people didn't really know me, it happened a lot more. And as a 22-year-old girl grinding in the Borgata, which is where I used to mainly play, it affected me. I would get really upset, or the worst thing, I would say something back, and that never made me feel good. But over time, I've just kind of learned to tune it out. And m- as I've gotten a little bit more known in poker, I would say it really doesn't happen hardly at all anymore. And if it did, I don't know, I would just not pay any attention to it.
Don't give it any air. Go ahead, Donna or Brian. You have any more questions right now?
Do you think that like um you think that over time that's improved just because people have gotten to know you, or have people become more aware of it? And I mean, do you
um
see it the same with people that are unknown
I
as much?
I don't, yeah, I don't see it as much as I used to, but I might just not be paying as close attention. I don't know. I think that like for me, I probably have just like matured and not, it probably still happens to me and maybe I just like don't see it as much as I used to. But I guess in general, I don't think that it's as bad as it used to be. I mean,
I think the awareness has definitely been helping it for sure.
I
yeah.
remember I was playing this is a little different, but like I was playing it goes along with like the old school gambler guy, right? So this is a guy that like is definitely up there and well known, and we're playing, and my friend's gay. Everybody knows he's gay, like, and is where
You're in the matrix, Brian.
can you hear
Yeah,
me?
he cut
There we
out.
go. Sorry. What
There you
what
go.
what he what he was wearing was a little bit effeminate or whatever. What he was wearing something that was pink, whatever.
Mhm.
And I don't want to go too much into it because then you probably know exactly who it is. But anyway, um, and this guy looks over and he's like, "What kind of self-respecting guy would wear that?" And it's like it was so out of place, like
Yeah.
that. I feel like maybe some of it is like we've hopefully aged out of some of this kind of like people not being respectful to other people and things like that. I don't know.
I
Hopefully.
mean, it definitely still happens, but
Yeah.
like Sherry said, I think the awareness is there. I mean, I used to play a lot of private games in New York, some pretty high stakes PLO games. And for a while I was having issues with getting voted out of games. And um, because I was a winning poker player and I was a girl and I was beating up on all the guys. So that really stunk because that was like my livelihood for a while, getting voted out of these games just because I was a female and winning really
Right.
wasn't cool.
Tell them about
Uh,
the professional basketball player,
oh,
but don't
okay.
wouldn't
So
name him. But
there was a situation where I was playing in a game in Manhattan, and I think it was like maybe 100, 200 PLO or 50, 100 PLO, something like that. And I was involved in a hand where I had top set of aces, PLO hand, like ace, ace, four deuce or something. Um, a all in, three-way all in on the ace, jack, five. I had pocket aces, got it all in against an NBA player who I'm not going to name. He had a set of jacks, and then another guy had a wrap, and I wound up losing. We both, the NBA player and I, we both wound up losing to the wrap, and that was 100K pot. So biggest
Wow.
pot I had ever lost. Yeah, $100,000 pot. And the player looks, or the NBA player looks over to me and says, "I'm glad you got effed in that pot." And then
What?
told the game runner that he didn't want me to play anymore. And it's because he was always flirting with me at the game. And then that particular game, I had brought my ex-boyfriend to the game and introduced him to him at the time. So he
Oh,
didn't like that I had a boyfriend, and I had played in that game many, many times with this player. And because he was the big NBA guy and he was the whale, he got to dictate who came to the game and who didn't. And because I wouldn't, sleep with him, he voted me out of the game.
that is
Yeah.
that's just, oh, it's so
Yeah.
frustrating.
Oh,
It
so
really is so frustrating to hear.
yeah. So I
That
lost the biggest pot of my life and then had to deal with all of that. So that was a pretty rough moment.
Well, the good news is that you don't have to play with him anymore, right?
Exactly.
The
Yes.
good news is,
I stay away from private games now. It's a lot less stressful.
yeah, unfortunately, I live in Georgia, so unless I want to travel 3 or more hours, private games are the only thing available, allegedly, in the state of Georgia. Um, but
Yeah.
tell us, Lex, you have your website, LexiGavin-Mather.com. What do you offer on your website?
So I have a course called the Poker Accelerator. It's a tournament and cash game course, and it's geared more towards the recreational player, but not like super beginner. You have to have an understanding of poker. And eventually I will, I think, do a course for the very, very beginner. But it's a transformative course. It goes in order of what I believe is the best place to start. And yeah, it's called the Poker Accelerator. And if anyone's interested in checking it out, I can create a coupon. Oh, apparently Bob just made a coupon for $100 off for uh, code what? Code Twitter. Babe, this is X Spaces.
Awesome. Code Twitter.
Yeah,
$100
so
off coupon.
yes, $100. Bob says he talked to Elon and he's okay with.
I love it. Thank you, Bob. And speaking of Bob, I think I read that he's made it to day 2 on Sunday at the Venetian or something. You want to update us?
He's washing dishes right now. I'll talk
Okay,
for him as he
please
should be,
do.
right?
As he should be in the
He's
kitchen
talk.
washing dishes. Go
He
ahead,
is.
Lex.
So it's awesome because we had just started that study group that I was telling you about, and then that next day Bob goes and plays the Venetian 800, and he bags the chip lead. So he bagged 800K, or no, 900K. He's hopping back over to his computer, so he'll probably jump on in a sec.
That's
Uh,
okay.
yeah, and his day 2 is Sunday. They still have flights for today and tomorrow.
I'm gonna do a course for how to keep your wife happy.
So
Just
and dishes is one of
every
them.
once in a while, do the dishes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
that
That
should
is
be
our love
extra.
language.
You're giving yourself too much credit. He was just washing the cup that he was
No,
just drinking out of.
there's no need to clarify. Just you can.
Just
I'm
move
gonna
on.
give 100% off of my free course, Lexi.
I love it. I love it. Now, Lex, I'm so excited you have a book coming out. Tell us what motivated you to write this book.
It's funny because this opportunity came to me. So I'm a coach, like you said, I'm a coach for pokercoaching.com. I've been with Jonathan Little's training site for about 5 years now, going on 5 years. And it's been going great. And Jonathan approached me about writing a book because his publishers that he writes all of those millions of books that he writes is D&B Publishing, and they were looking for someone to write a book called Mastering Small Stakes Tournaments. So Jonathan asked me if I'd be interested. I said, sure, how hard could it be? So he connected me with the publishers, and I said to them, I was like, are you sure? Like, I'm a poker player. I'm not an author by any means. I never thought about writing a book. They're like, yeah, you'll be fine. So I decided to take on this book, and my it was the deadline was right after my wedding. So I was planning my wedding the
No
year.
pressure.
Nope. Oh my gosh. So, and classic me, I procrastinate everything. So I didn't really start writing until about 6 months before my deadline. And I had no idea what kind of undertaking it would be to write a book. I thought it was going to, take me a month, but it was crazy stressful, and oh my gosh. But I got it done by the deadline, and everything was perfect. The wedding was perfect. The book was done, and it all worked out. And I'm very, very excited. I'm so glad that I did it. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done. And
Good
I hope
for
everyone likes
you.
it. Thank you.
And again, it's Mastering Small Stakes No Limit Tournaments, and you can get on that dmbpoker.com website to order your copy, folks.
Yes,
That is
please do.
awesome. Love it. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I think that's great. That's a good niche. I can't think of a lot of things in that wheelhouse, right? Where, a lot of times you have these people that have played for a long time, and then they're just talking about the games that they're playing. And, a small stakes tournament is way different than some
Yeah,
high roller.
exactly, exactly. And it was so perfect because I happened to win a ring in a small stakes tournament while I was writing the book. So, um, actually, I think the photo that you got for the promo for this X Space, Sherry, is from
Yep.
that win. I won a ring in the Run Good event. So it just kind of felt good to actually win, to kind of validate myself a little bit.
Hell yes, it is. Hell yes. You're hardworking. It's kind of nice to get that jewelry, isn't it?
It is, yeah, for
All
sure.
right. Miss Donna, any questions?
What do you think to the amount of ladies that's playing poker at the moment, and how can we grow this? Because it seems to be we've got momentum. We need to grow it now. So how's the best way to do that?
Yeah, I definitely think there needs to be more women in the game, and I'm still not quite sure why there aren't more. I mean, I know that it can be more of an intimidating atmosphere, I guess, for women, but yeah, I think women supporting women, these groups like, Poker Power and Women's Poker Association and all that, I think that is really great for getting more women involved. But I also think that watching women succeed in poker could also motivate more women to play. So, I'm really glad to see that my friend Chrissy Foxon is out in the fields, like grinding those those Poker Go Open, events, and she's been finals tabling and doing really well. And so I think that when women, if a woman won the World Series Poker main event, I think that would do wonders for women in poker.
I think that's the next moneymaker effect is when a female wins the
Totally.
main event.
Totally. Yeah. Or even final tables.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Too long.
Yeah, definitely been a while.
What, you had a deep run in the main, right? What
No, not
place was it?
no,
I thought
I,
you
not
had.
not the World Series main.
Oh, okay.
I final tabled the ladies event at the World Series, and I've
Must have been nice.
gotten like a lot of 11th and 12th and other side events at the World Series, but no. I'm still waiting for my main event run.
It's coming.
Yes.
What's your favorite WSOP event?
Well, I feel like definitely the ladies event is one of them because I've final tabled it before and I've gone deep in it other years, but they're just so much fun to play. Like ladies events are just they're different. They're just so much more laxed and they're fun. The ladies like to chat, and so the ladies event for sure. Obviously the main event, I have to say. And the tag team is fun because I get to play with Bobby Boy.
I don't know. He might need to get a better partner.
That that
Yeah, we so I don't know if many of you know, but I actually vlogged on my YouTube channel every day of the World Series of Poker for the last 2 years. Me, Negreanu, and I think Masoto were, I think, the only ones that filmed every single day. So yeah, you can check out, Bob actually is a pretty big presence on the vlog, and we vlogged the tag team event last year, and it was a fun one to check out for sure. Because
And I love your vlogs. They're always
oh,
just some fun,
they're
silly
great.
stuff and some serious stuff as well. And
thank you.
you
Eh,
do a great job. And where can we find your vlogs?
It's Lexi Gavin Poker on YouTube, so Lexi with a Y.
You heard it
I,
here,
I love
folks.
I love that. Like the thing is, Lexi, like I did the vlog one year, as I was talking a couple weeks back on the show, and um, the tag team event. It's funny that you say that. Like that's my favorite event, and that vlog was I made a deep run with my dad in it, and
Oh,
my dad passed away a couple years ago, and so like that footage is like completely priceless.
oh my
It's
God.
worth every penny that we did. And Sherry and I talk about this a lot, like uh, doing content, like, you know, I guess I'm selfish. I do content for myself, like if
Mhm.
people want to watch it, then that's great. But really, like when it comes down to it, I'm just doing it for myself too. Like, and hopefully, you know, I think that's probably the best content to do too, because then it's authentic. It's not like you're trying
Totally.
to, you know,
Totally.
you don't know what
Oh,
the story is. You're living it. So.
I love that you had the opportunity to do the vlog with your dad and you happen to go deep. That is such an amazing memory and video that you'll have forever.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And yeah, I can totally relate. I love doing the vlog. The vlog is like a video memory book of our travels and our tournaments and our life. I joke and I say that Bob's in my life is like the Truman Show because we film ourselves having breakfast and the
We
camera's
don't.
always on.
Yeah.
We don't. She sticks the camera in my face. She comes up and goes, "You need to be funny." I'm like,
The people expect it from you, Bob.
yeah, but I'm not. I'm not a man of the people. I'm like,
You're
what are you doing?
you're a monkey dance.
Exactly.
Dance, monkey, dance.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
you guys. Oh, go ahead, Lex.
I was just gonna say the channel wouldn't be what it is if it weren't for Bob. I think that the audience really likes you know the hashtag more Bob. I jokingly started that hashtag in like one of the first episodes. I When Bob was on, I was like, "Hey guys, if you want to see more of Bob, hashtag more Bob in the comments." And then that hashtag caught on like wildfire, and we'll be walking through the halls at the World Series Poker, and we'll hear 20 more Bobs a day. It's like the craziest thing. We just like accidentally created a really catchy thing for the audience, and it you know it would I think a lot of people show up to the vlog for Bob because he's funny.
Absolutely, and for you too, we're going to give you credit too.
Thanks.
But I giggle every time I hear somebody say more Bob because I remember that episode and I was like, oh, that's catchy. I like it. I like it. Okay, we have somebody requesting, excuse me, to come up. Slice, you're on a very short leash. Slice, please join us.
All right.
Uh, Hello.
Slice, do you have a question or comment for Lexi or Bob or any of us? Here's your
Oh,
here's your chance. You got to turn that microphone on.
I do like the icon there.
You want to just step on me? Teacher, you wouldn't have endless trunks of money. Endless.
I
Okay.
don't know. You gave
Thank
it a
you,
try.
Slice. Appreciate you. we
That
just
went about how I thought it was going to go, Sherry.
listen. I'm always willing to give somebody a chance. You know that software till they prove me wrong, right? Donna, did you have any more questions for Lexi or Bob?
When's your next tournament, Lexi?
So we're heading to Florida for the WSOP Circuit Main at Pompano Beach. And then from there, we're actually heading to Paris to play in the EPT Paris. So we're really excited. It's Bob's birthday at the end of February. So we're going to go and bring a couple of his kids and we're going to play some poker and just have a nice little birthday slash poker trip.
Oh, that's awesome. That sounds amazing. For my audience members, if you'd like to come up and ask our guests any questions or if you have any comments, please request in the bottom left corner and we'll bring you up for your chance to speak with Lexi and Bob or any of us. So, um,
I feel like I should call out a certain listener who I see. Judy is my mom.
oh, I'm glad you did. Hey, Judy.
Hi,
She's a
mom.
she's a stalker.
Hi, Judy. Nice to have
Or the
you
private
listening.
eye.
Ma,
Hey,
can you figure
Judy.
out how to say hi? She
Press on the press the little heart on the bottom right. If you press on the little heart, some emojis will come up, and you can hit the little wave button if you want the little wave emoji.
I think
I've
Bob might.
invited her to speak if she wants
Good.
to come up to speak.
She is
Oh, she
absolutely.
just
Oh,
left.
we embarrassed her.
I think she probably
Um,
Oh,
misclicked.
It's
She
okay. No worries. She is more than welcome to join us, of course. What are you going to play at that EPT?
Oh, she's back. Hi, mom. We're gonna play the $5,300 main there, or 5,300 euro, I think.
Right.
And then the FPS main event. Uh, so yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, hi, mom.
Hey, Judy, welcome to our space. If you click on that
Uh,
little mic on the bottom left, you can speak to us, love.
oh, she.
That's
That's all
okay.
right. That's all right.
she might be on a computer. If she's on a computer, it usually only works on the cell phone. So
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Well, Judy, we're glad you're listening anyway, and
I feel like
welcome.
I can speak for her because I channel a lot. She wanted to say what a great son-in-law she had.
Oh, I'm sure she thinks more Bob
I can
too.
imagine that. I can
Well,
imagine
let's see. If Judy, if you disagree with me, go ahead and say something now. Three,
that.
two,
You
one.
have a perfect chance.
Yeah, and she didn't, so obviously I'm spot on. And
Last year for Christmas, my mom got Bob a mug that said, "Dear Bob Mather, you have the best mother-in-law in the world. You're so totally welcome for making your life better."
I love that. I think she could be my new best friend. Um, Lexi, what's your favorite poker world in the United States? Do you have a favorite?
Poker room?
Yes.
Ooh, I do. There's a very small room in Northern California called Casino Club. It's in Redding, California. Bob and I have a vacation home there, and we play a lot of cash there. And it's definitely near and dear to my heart, the Casino
Awesome.
Club. Yeah.
Awesome. And how about worldwide?
Um, I'm gonna say worldwide. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. As far as like casino, I'm gonna say I really like, and I just went for the first time, Cherokee.
Oh
Um,
yeah, my home. That's what I consider my home casino.
I love it there. It is so nice. When you bus, it's hard to tilt there because it's so beautiful,
Yes.
and there's no smoking, which I really appreciate because I hate smoke. It's my least favorite thing about playing in casinos. So,
And
yeah,
it's
I
a
really
great
like.
location. It's just hard to get to. Like there's no easy, you know,
Right, exactly.
travel. It's
Yeah,
not an easy travel, that's for sure, but it is beautiful up there in the Smoky Mountains.
yeah. My mom just texted me that she tried to talk but screwed it up. So she was trying. She just a
No
little
worries,
technologically
Judy.
challenged.
No
It's all
worries.
good.
Yeah.
Chris,
But
did you have
yeah.
any other questions,
Oh yeah, I
Chris?
just wanted to mention that if you're really into the mountains, the next time you go to Cherokee, you should stay in one of those. Like you can rent these cabins in the mountains there, and it's incredible. Like the view is
Wow.
like amazing.
Oh,
Um,
I bet.
yeah, I totally
Yeah.
recommend you do that next time you go to Cherokee.
Yeah, I definitely want to go more. When when I went there last time, I said I'm going to go to every single stop that they have, and like you said, Sherry, it's hard to get to, but definitely worth it. And
Definitely
it's
worth it.
near Gatlinburg, and my parents live in Myrtle Beach, so I could just shoot up and see them, or shoot down and see them. Yeah, so that
And
works.
Chris is right. there's a lot of log cabins or, Airbnbs to rent. We rented a log cabin at it's just awesome. It's just you can't go wrong. And even when you bust, you're pretty happy because you're still in these beautiful mountains, and
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, it is kind of a nice distraction from the old poker rooms, right?
Yep.
For sure. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I had a funny story for Bob. So my daughter, she was on this new soccer team, and we were going on the first trip, and all of a sudden we were leaving, and the coach said, "I'm gonna drive the girls," so he hops in the van, and then I was gonna ride with some of the dads up there, so I walked over to one of the dads and go, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm taking down the license number." I'm like, "What do you do for a living?" He goes, "I'm an investigator."
Of
We'll
course.
know exactly what's going on where this van is at all times.
Exactly. That Bob
Yeah.
has 3 daughters. I feel terrible that they had to grow up with a private investigator father.
Yeah, but now he could just put an air tag on the vehicle they're leaving with. And
Exactly. Oh, look at you,
Look,
Sherry.
so
That's smart.
those girls team up with my wife and they all control me. It's not even close.
I definitely have allies, that's for sure.
Yes, you
I
do.
love that. All right, let's recap a couple of things. First of all, um, Bob made a coupon for us, and it's going to be code Twitter for $100 off the Poker Accelerator course that Lexi offers on her website at LexiGavin-Mather.com.
Yes.
So let's recap that. Also, her book can be ordered at dnbpoker.com. The title of, again, Mastering Small Stakes No Limit Tournaments. So I can't wait to get my hands on that. Lex, is there anything else you'd like us to talk about that any special projects you're working on or anything else you'd like to talk about?
Just continuing growing the channel, continuing to improve the course. Just a lot more of what I'm doing, just with a lot more force. So I'm gonna really try to market the course better and just make it a little bit more accessible for people. And yeah, that's really it. I'm excited to vlog in the EPT Paris. I might vlog every tournament that I play. Haven't decided yet, but yeah,
Love
and
that.
just play a lot more and get a 6-figure score is the goal.
Well, we will be watching for that vlog when you hit that six-figure score because I'm thinking it's going to be this year. You're working too hard for it not to be this year.
Thank you, Sherry.
I'm
Appreciate
going to
that.
absolutely. I'm going to bring up Ryan. Robb has requested to come up and chat with us, so we'll give him a second to get connected.
Oh,
Ryan
I
Robb,
just,
as soon as you can hear me.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say bye, bye, Lexi and Bob and Sherry, Brian, Donna. Thanks for having the
Okay,
space.
Hey,
thanks for
Oh,
thanks,
joining
sure.
Chris.
us.
See you, Chris. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Hey, Sherry, can you
Go
hear me?
ahead, Ryan. Yes, sir.
Hey, I don't have any questions at all. I just wanted to come up and say thank you to both you and Bob, Lexi. We really appreciate it. I know how much work the vlog is. I never miss it, and
Oh, thanks.
it's awesome to just see just some wholesome poker, some just true down to earth people, and just want to let you know we definitely appreciate all the work you guys put into it because I know it's not
Oh,
easy, and I
thank
know
you.
there's definitely some downside to having that camera out at the table. So it does
Yes. Well,
it doesn't go unnoticed, and we sincerely appreciate it.
thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And thank you for watching the vlog.
Ryan, I got to give Ryan a little shout out. Ryan, of course, I met here in the spaces. He's one of our space cadets, as we call ourselves, because sometimes when you're in these for a while, you just kind of get a little whoopy and goofy. So anyway, I went to Biloxi a few weeks ago for their winter series, and I actually got to meet Ryan in person. And I was very thankful because not only did he bring me a king cake, which was amazing for Mardi Gras, but I ended up getting really sick and he checked on me, and I appreciate that. So, little
Oh,
shout out to Ryan for checking on me and making sure I was okay.
That's
Oh,
huge.
you don't need to mention it, Sherry. I felt so terrible. Like I look forward to getting to talk to you a little bit and hang out and grab a drink. And I feel so bad that you got sick.
It was so
Hey,
unfortunate, but it
for the
is what it
record,
is.
it was before she ate the king cake that I brought her.
This
So
is true.
not my
It
fault.
wasn't the cake.
This is
No,
true.
it was like less than an hour after I gave you a hug. So that I may have given it to you. Who knows?
No, it actually,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
yeah, it actually was a rogue ginger ale because as soon as I took a sip of it, something was wrong with it. So it definitely was a little bit of food poisoning, but
Well,
it is what
blame
it
it on the
is.
bow.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was in the bathroom, puking my guts out at the break, but
Oh,
it's okay. We survived the $1 million heater. I appreciate you, Ryan, and we'll take that drink up sooner or later.
Yeah, and once again, thanks a lot, Lexi. Thanks a lot, Bob. Hashtag more Bob. I'm one of those guys. Definitely entertaining. Definitely entertaining. We really appreciate
Thanks.
it.
thank
We
you.
meet
Appreciate
we
you.
meet we meet so many wonderful people now because of this. It's really fun.
Definitely.
That's so awesome. That's because you guys are great, and everybody can relate to you and to your content and your plight in the poker world, and we appreciate that.
Wow,
Thank
you
you.
sound just like my mother-in-law.
You're welcome, Bob. Maybe I need to buy you a mug that says you're welcome.
And hey, Lexi, it's a coincidence. I'm actually at dinner with my mom, who is also named Judy, as we speak.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, hi, Mom.
Oh,
That's what
hey,
triggered
Mom
me to come up.
Judy. That's
Y'all have a good one.
amazing.
Thanks
All
again.
right. Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. Well, we won't keep you guys. We know it's a Friday night. We try to keep it to an hour to an hour and a half of time. So we, keep it fresh and keep it moving. We
Awesome.
appreciate you guys coming and good luck and on the felt and look forward to seeing you guys in Cherokee.
Thank you. Thank you, Sherry and Brian, so much for having us. And Sherry, I do have to shout you out as well because I think that you do so much for poker. You're so active in the community, and I really think you're quite amazing. So I hope you know.
Well, I appreciate those kind words. And I appreciate you and Bob and everybody that's here listening. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great point, Lexi. Like people don't realize all the work that Sherry puts into it, and it's really really cool to do. And the meetup game in Vegas was unbelievably fun. You know what's fun, Lexi? I was talking the other day on Twitter about just that like people like Nick Bertucci showed up and here he is playing like okay, Todd, or whoever. I don't think it was Todd that got on my case about saying it was low limit, but it definitely is low limit for Nick Vertucci. We were playing like under 2.5, not 200 500,
Or even
Right.
for Keating showed up too.
Yeah, and he was just
Oh,
having
wow.
fun, and he wasn't like, a guy like that usually comes into the game and they like make it a $50, $100 game, like instead of
Yeah.
a
Wow.
2.5. No, he didn't do that. He was like playing for real. Like I don't even think if my friends want me to come play some game at home that's just for fun, I can't do that. Like I'm not capable of doing that. So I was so appreciative. We had such a good time, and Sherry,
Awesome.
you're the reason why that all happened. And thank you very much,
Thank
Lexi, for
you.
joining us. Bob, it was
Absolutely.
great meeting you this summer and great talking to you again. And we'll definitely see both of you guys this summer.
Oh,
Yeah, sounds good.
absolutely. Thank
Thank you,
no, thank you
Brian.
again. This was a
All
lot
right.
of fun.
Yeah.
Thanks, you
Thank you.
guys. Good night,
Uh,
everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good
Good
night.
luck on Sunday, Bob.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye, Lex.